AI is a topic that is rapidly changing how we teach, learn, and think. Day to day, new technologies emerge, others dissolve, and some just disappear. The internet revolution of 25 years ago in higher education moved fast, but this current AI reformation is moving at near light speed. So, what do we do? Must we constantly try to adapt and update our knowledge and skills with the potential for all that hard work to be for nothing a few months later? Do we focus on the most productive tools while they last, then move on to the next? How do we allocate our resources and our time? But what if we didn't do any of that? Instead, what if we focused our time towards creating ethical guidelines on how AI technology should be adopted, utilized, and deployed to create meaningful and equitable progress for all stakeholders in higher education? The usage of intelligent tools in teaching and learning has enormous potential. Content could adapt to different learning styles, translate between multiple languages, generate appropriate media to support instructors and students, track progress, and alert students more intuitively when they get behind. There's so much potential for us to explore. But if we simply just move fast to keep up, we could make critical mistakes in our most important mission, learning. Ethical guidelines focus the use cases where this technology may be insufficient or not properly designed for a given situation. So, what do ethical guidelines for AI and instructional design look like? Luckily, there have been others who have created foundational frameworks for ethics in research and education. One of those frameworks is from the 1979 Belmont Report, Ethical Principles and Guidelines for the Protection of Human Subjects of Research. This was mandated by the National Research Act of 1974 and written by the National Commission for the Protection of Human Subjects of Biomedical and Behavioral Research, a cohort of doctors, professors, researchers, lawyers, and educational professionals. This report laid out foundational principles for researchers conducting experiments on human subjects. And there are three main focal points: beneficence, respect, and justice. A second framework, known as TPAC, or Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge, was established by Mishra and Kohler in 2006. Here we also have three areas of focus: technical knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, and content knowledge. There have also been several groups, institutions, and individuals working to draft ethical guidelines of AI in education. Some of these are included here: EDUCAUSE, the Online Learning Consortium, the Brookings Institution, the Cal State University System, as well as numerous scholars, researchers, and edtech journals. What then are the overall ethical principles these groups are addressing? In general, there are four categories. Benefits. AI should be a positive and beneficial source to students, staff, and faculty. They should promote success across all areas of practice. Stakeholders should have a right to make informed decisions of how they use AI. The second is transparency. Information about AI systems should be readily available and clear. Institutions and developers should be held accountable for the systems that they employ. The third is equity. AI usage should promote fairness, not create bias or discriminatory practices. Access to approved AI systems or tools should be available for all relevant stakeholders. Research and exploration of AI tools should be encouraged. And finally, safety. AI should be safe and protect private data. Students, faculty, and staff should be able to critically evaluate and assess AI systems or tools safely. There are obviously many dimensions to these categories, and not all circumstances or situations can be fully covered based on ethical guidelines. However, in much of the literature, there are numerous use cases suggesting different ethical considerations. Most of these were centered around the cost of AI tools, academic integrity, and the required, restricted, or prohibited usage of such tools. However, there were more novel use cases as well, such as AI-assisted academic advising. What are the concerns around data protection or the quality of the product? AI grading. When and how much to use such a tool, and when does it take away from more traditional instructor intervention? AI-driven admissions. Could there be bias in the algorithm or less bias? Could mistakes occur? What about data protection? And finally, AI-generated course content. How involved would instructors be with the creation of such content? How accurate could that be? It was clear that as new scenarios arise, there needs to be a clear application of how ethical guidelines would be used in order to create policies to mitigate risk, to provide equity and transparency, and benefit all people. One notable university system, the Cal State system, created their own framework for evaluating AI in higher education. They call it the ethical framework, and with supporting documentation for how each category would work in practice. Cal State also encourages other institutions to use this framework in creating their own ethical standards. There are some common suggestions on how institutions could proceed when creating their own ethical guidelines for AI. These included abundant access to training, continuous professional development, mentorship for new students and faculty and staff. They also recommend resource centers, provide up-to-date research, best practices, ethical guidelines, and audits of and for instructional designers and educators. Regular campus-wide discussions and department-level discussions on the topics of AI-assisted learning. And finally, an AI ethical review board, a campus committee, a team of students and employees that would be responsible for the assessment of AI tools, policies, data protection, and standards for AI adoption. To conclude, it is clear AI in instructional design is an exciting opportunity for better teaching and learning. But it is also nuanced and complex. And this is why there should be an approach to AI with an ethical framework in mind. Thanks for listening. See you next time.